You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
$10,000 in magic mushroom was seized. By Lauren Siebert. A knock and talk led by the Hardy Police Department January 21 at a residence in Hardy led to the seizure of a large quantity of mushrooms suspected to be grown illegally, which were reportedly being sold on the street for $40 to $100 an ounce. Officers from the Hardy Police Department were informed that the individuals living at the residence in South Hardy had been growing mushrooms to sell on the street. When officers arrived, they saw a suspect outside the residence and began a conversation. While talking to the individual, one of the officers heard someone playing a guitar inside the residence. The officers proceeded to see who else might be at the residence, and were met by a red pit bull dog that was behaving aggressively. With some effort, the dog was subdued without harm to either the dog or the officers. While officers were working with the dog, however, they noticed the strong smell of marijuana coming from inside the residence, giving them probable cause to enter, according to the report. Once inside, they found the second suspect sitting on the couch, playing a guitar, and noted the smell of marijuana was very strong. The officers also noticed that there were several items of paraphernalia, suspected to be used for marijuana, sitting on the table in front of the couch, where the individual was sitting. After removing the second suspect, officers began to survey the living room, and noticed 4 large tubs stacked behind a chair with a small Tupperware container sitting on them. Upon further search, they found the tubs contained several mushroom cake spores, and the smaller container on top contained mature mushrooms. Over a half-pound of the suspected hallucinogenic mushrooms were found in mature form within the smaller Tupperware container, and over 4 pounds of the mushroom cake spores located within the larger containers were seized, with a suspected street value of over $10,000. After identifying the 2 suspects, officers discovered both were felons and 2 firearms were located within the home. The suspected hallucinogenic mushrooms have been sent to the Arkansas State Crime Lab in order to be identified.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Man falls from car, dies. Unfortunate tragedy claims 1 life in Hardy. By Lauren Siebert. A fatal accident occurred January 17, at the intersection of Highway 175 and Kewanee Circle near the Beach Club apartment complex between Cherokee Village and Hardy. Central Dispatch received a 911 call at 9:31 p.m. reporting a motor vehicle accident. When police arrived on the scene, they found Rachel Sykes, stopped on the shoulder of the road with her vehicle's headlights shining on the victim, Jeremy Sykes, age 32. Reportedly, Rachel Sykes was driving down 175 when her husband, Jeremy Sykes, fell from the vehicle as it was moving, at approximately 35 mph. Officers from the Sharp County Sheriff's Department and the Hardy, Cherokee Village, and Highland Police Departments arrived on scene, along with the Spring River Ambulance Service and first responders from the Hardy Fire Department. After arriving on the scene, police called for the coroner, Doug Wortham, who pronounced Sykes dead at 10:08 p.m. Sykes' body was sent to the Arkansas State Examiner's Office for an autopsy. Detective Sergeant Dale Weaver of the Sharp County Sheriff's Department received a preliminary autopsy report from the Medical Examiner's Office, which stated the cause of death is injury to the brain due to blunt force of injury of head. According to Weaver, the Sharp County Sheriff's Department was also satisfied, after a thorough and painstaking investigation into the scene, that the death was accidental. The manner of death is listed as an accident, Weaver said. We looked the vehicle over the following day, went back and looked at Jeremy, the scene and the vehicle. Weaver continued, everything totally corroborated what Rachel Sykes and her son had stated. It is just a very unfortunate accident.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Child porn seized by Cybercrimes Unit. Arkansas Attorney General Dustin McDaniels announced January 19, the arrest of a Cave City man for possession of child pornography. By Lauren Siebert. A child pornography arrest in Cave City was announced January 19 by Arkansas Attorney General Dustin McDaniel in Newport, ARC, the result of a new Cybercrimes Unit in the Attorney General's office that focuses on investigating child pornography and sexual predator crimes. Reportedly, Ricky G. Rothenberger, 46, of Cave City was arrested January 18 after an investigation by the Cybercrimes Unit led Sharp County Circuit Judge Harold Irwin to find probable cause to charge Rothenberger with 20 counts of distributing, possessing or viewing matter depicting sexually explicit conduct involving a child, a Class C felony. According to reports, Rothenberger was arrested after a forensic examination of evidence that was seized from his home and indicated that he was in possession of nearly 300 images of child pornography. The evidence, including a desktop computer, was seized in October, when agents from the Attorney General's office executed a search warrant at Rothenberger's residence in Cave City. The evidence was analyzed at the Cybercrimes Unit Forensic Lab in Little Rock. According to McDaniel, the Attorney General's office began working in full force against child pornography middle of last year. Our efforts became live in June 2011, and since that time we joined roughly 20 attorneys general around the nation in leading the fight on online criminal activity, McDaniel said. We have 5 investigators. We have a state-of-the-art forensic lab. McDaniel noted that the cooperation between state and local government is a large part of the success of the Cybercrimes Unit getting child predators and pornographers off the street. We coordinate with local law enforcement and local prosecutors, McDaniel said, adding, we are after those primarily who view, trade, and sell pornography involving children. I have said repeatedly that I think the term child pornography is a bit of a euphemism. We use the term without really describing what we're dealing with, McDaniels noted, directly addressing an important issue most people would rather avoid. Pornography has become pervasive in our society and certainly on the internet, and to some extent we have softened our views of what that really means. McDaniel proposed to define exactly what he perceived to be the meaning of child pornography. This is not something that is consensual. This is not something that is for entertainment purposes, McDaniel emphasized. This is the videotaping and photography of the sexual assault, indeed, the rape of children. Every time those images are viewed and traded, those children are victimized over and over again. According to McDaniel, his office is committed to protecting Arkansas children and families by investigating and arresting those who traffic in child pornography, both producers and purchasers. This arrest should send a message to anyone across the state that law enforcement will not tolerate crimes against children perpetrated on the internet. We look forward to presenting the evidence in this case to a jury. During the conference, McDaniel also spoke of ways for families to help protect themselves and their children against being exposed to pornography, adding that the cyber safety website is packed with helpful information for families.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Hardy UMC Conscripts New Edition. Ribbon cutting ceremony held, with dedications to 2 local families. By Lauren Siebert. Hardy United Methodist Church, located in downtown Hardy, held its ribbon-cutting ceremony January 22 for the grand opening of its new Narthex edition. Visitors and members of the church attended the ceremony, along with Pastor Brian Nix Hall and Bishop Charles Crutchfield, who performed the ceremony consecrating the Narthex. Originating in the 1820s, the HUMC consisted of Methodist circuit riding preachers until the time of the Civil War, according to the history of the HUMC, ministering to the people of the Spring River area in Hardy by holding various tent revivals and gatherings. According to Pastor Hall, the latest expansion to the church began about 4 years ago, when the congregation realized they were swiftly outgrowing their facility. After we had finished the renovation of the sanctuary 4 years ago, the church knew we were outgrowing our rooms and we knew we needed to add on, Pastor Hall said. It's officially open today, but we're still a few weeks away from our sidewalks and parking for the new entrance. The weather has not permitted that to happen yet. According to Bishop Crutchfield, he says he is proud of the way the church has considered the needs of the community and has made efforts to reach out and be a beacon for the future. It's a privilege to come up to this church. It's been in existence for over 100 years, and has been a vital part of this community for a long time, Bishop Crutchfield said. In the last several years it has begun to grow, and to embrace its future. It's a church and a place filled with hope. One special quality both Pastor Hall and Bishop Crutchfield expanded upon, was the fact the new facility has been certified by the American Red Cross as a disaster relief area. The great ministries we're going to be able to do with this is not only to meet the needs of the church in Sunday school, but it's also going to meet the needs of the community, Pastor Hall said. We can house 35 to 40 people if need be. We have a laundry room, men and women handicap access bathroom and shower, and our kitchen has been updating so we meet all the state codes. During the course of the ceremony after Bishop Crutchfield had cut the ribbon, 2 special dedications were noted by Bishop Crutchfield. The first dedication was of the church's bell to Tom and Phyllis McRia. We will dedicate an 1880s bell, which will stand in the front, and every time this bell is rung, all those who hear it will know the positive impact that these people have made. The second dedication was made to Renee Clay Circle and family. Today the church wants to show the Clay family their appreciation for the love and support the family has given to this church, Bishop Crutchfield said. For the past 4 generations, this family continues this tradition. 2 of the daughters were earlier baptized, and the HUMC council of this church unanimously voted to honor them with the 1870 stained glass window that adorns the entrance of this new addition. Once the ceremony had drawn to a close, Ken Adler from Lyon College played Amazing Grace on the bagpipes, as the congregation sang along before being dismissed.
Thanks for listening to Spring River Chronicle Audio on the Go. Be sure to subscribe to the paper and check us out online at myspringriver.com.